See, my dear friends, today we just pass on to a new topic, that is Robert Clive and his achievements. Robert Clive, he was a real founder of British rule in Indian subcontinent. He played an important role in the contemporary Indian history. He utilized almost all the political conditions and economic conditions of Indian subcontinent for the laying foundation stone for the British rule in India. And this great personality who started his career as a clerk and he became the governor of Bengal, and he served his office, that is British East India Company, and his motherland in greater extent. And this great personality who taught a very important lessons about how to tackle, how to unite against the contemporary enemies. Okay, and first of all, we try to understand this Robert Clive with the following points. First of all, his early career. Second one is his military achievements. And third one about his administrative reforms. And fourth one about his other reforms and contribution to the British company. And lastly about his estimation. Okay, so early life of Robert Clive. Robert Clive was born in the year 1725 at Shropshire in Market Drayton of England. His father Richard Clive, and this fellow man who was very poor man, and no doubt in that poverty it seems boy Robert Clive tried his level best to shape his personality. When he joined the school, he always started quarreling with his friends. He always played a mischievous role in the school. He always wanted to lead the team of college. He always became the leader of the school students. When this talent was observed by one of his teacher, he quoted that if the boy Robert Clive get any opportunities in his future life, he may become one of the greatest personalities in the world. And these words of great teacher became true when Robert Clive joined the British East India Company. Okay, now we come to the point that Robert Clive, who led very humble life, he learned about accounting skills to join or to get a job in British East India Company. And no doubt in 1742 Clive was joined British East India Company as a clerk, and he came to India, especially an office of Madras in the same year. But the office work is not at all suitable for Robert Clive. He felt very bored, he felt inconvenient in the office of Madras. And at the same time, the climatic conditions of Indian subcontinent also badly on the affected on the health of Robert Clive. He was very much fed up with these continuous illness and he decided to commit suicide. But luckily he was saved, he was protected. And no doubt this Robert Clive who became great leader. No doubt Robert Clive, when he was working at Chennai, he got a best opportunity to show his capability. In 1747, Dupleix and Chanda Sahib, who attacked on Tirvankur to capture Muhammad Ali, the son of Anwaruddin, who was demised Nawab of Carnatic. At that time, Clerk Robert Clive suggested his commander-in-chief that send the British force to Arcot, which was the capital city of Chanda Sahib. And at that time, Arcot was a city which has no protection at all, because Chanda Sahib and Robert Clive took their almost all military force to Tirvankur. And this suggestion of Clive was accepted by this commander-in-chief, that is Sanderson. And Sanderson requested Robert Clive to took the lead of British force and attacked on Arcot region. And so ultimately this was one of the best opportunities that gained by Robert Clive. Okay, in 1751, Robert Clive, who easily captured the capital city of Chanda Sahib, was the Nawab of Carnatic region. And this attack on Arcot, capturing or fall of Arcot in the hands of British, ultimately this incident was totally disturbed the minds of Chanda Sahib, who was in Tirvankur. And this Chanda Sahib sent his half of the military to Arcot to save the capital city. But Robert Clive alone, a single person who fought against Chanda Sahib's military for 53 days, and he successfully defeated Chanda Sahib's military at all. And thus Robert Clive, who gained a great victory against Chanda Sahib in the first stage. So this is the greatness of Robert Clive. And at the same time, we observe that the joint military of Chanda Sahib and Robert Clive were also faced a utter defeat in the hands of British military. And thus we observe this was the greatest loss on the part of Dupleix, and in this battle Chanda Sahib lost his life. Anyhow, this was the end of Second Carnatic War, and no doubt with end of this war a new results were came into light. As a failure leader, Clive, Dupleix, he was recalled by French government, and Chanda Sahib, who lost his life in the battlefield. So ultimately, including Arcot, almost all the Carnatic region falls in the hands of Robert Clive. And third one is, it was a greatest setback on the part of French East India Company. And Robert Clive, who was a just clerk, now he became the hero of British East India Company. And thus, with this great achievement, Robert Clive, who was promoted as an commander-in-chief of British force. Okay, this is the beginning or early victories of Robert Clive. Next, conquering this Calcutta. In 1756, Robert Clive, who visited Bengal to analyze the black hole tragedy, which was a great mistake committed by Sirajuddaulah, the Nawab of Bengal. And he came to know that the incident of black hole tragedy and the defeat of the English people in the Port William, it was a challenge, it was a great shame on the part of British East India Company. And Robert Clive, who decided to take revenge upon Sirajuddaulah, who was the main cause for the black hole tragedy. He wanted to depose this Sirajuddaulah, and he created a plot against Sirajuddaulah, and he met Mir Jafar, the commander-in-chief of that is Sirajuddaulah, and both were sit together and they signed a treaty. And as per this understanding, Mir Jafar was assured to appoint as a governor or Nawab of Bengal if he support English against the Sirajuddaulah. So such type of plannings were made by Robert Clive, and no doubt with all these plans are completed, and when fine morning, that is Robert Clive who started to create some problems in the administration of Sirajuddaulah, and it was resulted into the Battle of Plassey. And this Battle of Plassey was started in 1757, and in that battlefield, Sirajuddaulah, who was fully prepared with his huge military and confident about his victory, but when Robert Clive entered in the battlefield, the whole picture was changed, and Mir Jafar was the commander-in-chief of Sirajuddaulah. He left Sirajuddaulah and declared his support to Robert Clive. And ultimately, Sirajuddaulah, who was a hero, who fought against the English in very brave manner, now he started to run away from the battlefield. But British force and Nawab's military, Mir Jafar's military chased him, and he was captured and put to death. And thus the Battle of Plassey came into an end, and the hero of this battle was Robert Clive. And as per the promise given to Mir Jafar, Robert Clive appointed Mir Jafar as the Nawab of Bengal. So thus this is another greatest achievement of Robert Clive, who played a vital role in the politics of Bengal, and the British who gained such a prosperous land, very fertile land, a very prime place for the commercial activities. So this is the second greatest achievement, military achievements of Robert Clive. So next one is defeat of the Dutch. So Dutches who were very active in Chandranagar region of East Coast, they were very much fed up, they were very much jealous regarding the success of Britishers in Bengal, and for that they met Mir Jafar, who was now staunch enemy of the English, and they decided to fight against the English. But Robert Clive came to know about the Dutch and Mir Jafar's internal politics, and he attacked on the Dutch, and in the Battle of Bidera that it took place in 1758, he defeated the Dutch, and he suppressed Dutch power almost all in the Indian subcontinent. And Colonel Ford, who took initiative, lead in the Battle of Bidera. So this is the third important military achievement of Robert Clive. And next one is his war against Ali Kaur. See, who was this Ali Kaur? Ali Kaur was the son of Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II. He revolted against his father because Shah Alam II, who sued for the Treaty of Allahabad, which gave rights of Diwani and Nizamar to the British government. So Ali Kaur, who revolted against his own father, and he attacked on Bihar region. So ultimately Robert Clive, who marched against Ali Kaur and defeated him near Patna, and he was set out from Bihar and Bengal region. Thus the enemy, another powerful enemy, was set out from the British territories. Okay, so this is about a few important military achievements of Robert Clive. And in 1760s, with all these victories, this Robert Clive returned back to he went to England for some personal works, and he was very much honored by the British government for his success in the Indian subcontinent. Okay, now we come to the point about the administrative reforms of Robert Clive. See, here we come to the point. Robert Clive, who returned back to India in the year 1765, and he was reappointed as the governor of Bengal for second time. But the situations are changed in greater extent, because After the Battle of Buxar, defeated Mughal Emperor sued for the Treaty of Allahabad, and as per the Treaty of Allahabad, Shah Alam II he gave Diwani rights and Nizamat rights to the British government, that is Robert Clark, that is British government. So British government they continued Shah Alam as an emperor, and for the namesake he continued as an emperor, but he gave these two important powers to handed over these two important powers to the British government, that is Diwani rights and Nizamat rights. Diwani rights are none other than the tax collection power, that is power to collect the tax in Bihar, Bengal and Orissa region. And Nizamat power means it is an power to put the judicial administration, to control the judicial administration, judgments, legality, each and everything, that is called Nizam. So now the Emperor Shah Alam II was just a puppet in the hands of British government. He was the emperor for the name's sake. He lost everything, and Diwani rights and Nizamat rights which were handed over to British government. Means ultimately the whole North India now comes under the control of British East India Company. The development took place after the Battle of Buxar, that is in the year 1764. Okay, my dear friend, I will stop here and we continue in our next class or next schedule.